Oh my god. This is going to be the most embarrassing story I will ever tell you. Okay, so this is one of the weirdest stories I've got to tell you. It's all about the time I accidentally flirted with the most awkward guy in school. And by accidentally, I mean I totally had no clue what I was doing. At all. It all started during biology class. Now, biology's always been one of those subjects I either love or hate. And let's be real. Today, I was definitely on the I really don't care side of things. So, I was sitting there, half paying attention, scrolling through my phone, when I felt someone tap me on the shoulder. I turned around, and there he was. Zach. Yes, that's Zach. The guy who is so awkward that when he talks to anyone, he ends up either stuttering or getting caught in his own words. But, you know, he's sweet. Like, really sweet. In fact, his awkwardness is kind of cute, ... in a I'm hoping good on suddenly start crying sort of way. Anyway, he looked at me and said, "Hey, Katie, can you, help me with this assignment?" I was so caught off guard, I nodded and said, "Sure, Zach." "What's the problem?" He handed me his paper. And for a second, we both stared at it like it was a math equation instead of a biology assignment. There was a diagram of a frog's anatomy. And for some reason, Zach had written, "Frog is weird," on every single part. I tried not to laugh and said, Zach, I think the frog's anatomy is just fine." He looked at me, and with a straight face, he said, "Yeah, but I mean, frogs are weird. I don't even know what a liver is." I stared at him. What? How did he not know what a liver was? I didn't know whether to laugh or just feel sorry for him. I finally said, It's an organ, Zach." Then, as if the conversation couldn't get any more awkward, he mumbled, "So, do you think, frogs have feelings?" At this point, I couldn't help myself. I burst out laughing. Frogs. Feelings. Zach. They're frogs. I am pretty sure they're more concerned about hopping and catching flies than having feelings. He looked down at his desk, and for a second, I felt a little bad for making fun of him. But he quickly looked back up and said, "Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe they're just like us. They like pizza and stuff, right?" I laughed and shook my head. "Nope. No pizza for frogs, I'm afraid." After that, the teacher came over and we all got scolded for not paying attention. And once she left, Zach started frantically writing something on a piece of paper. When he was done, he looked at me and said, "Okay, so, do you think I could maybe ask you out sometime? I mean, if you don't think I'm weird." At this point, I was uneven sure if I had processed what he was saying, because it was all happening so fast. One minute we were talking about frogs, and the next he was asking me out. I tried to be cool about it, but honestly, I had no idea how to respond. So, naturally, I went for the most ridiculous answer ever. I looked at him and said, "Well, I mean, you seem pretty cool. If you promise not to talk about frogs' feelings on the date, I guess I'd be open to it." He looked at me with wide eyes, and I immediately realized I'd just accidentally flirted with him. Not only that, but I said it in a way that made it sound like I was already expecting a date with him. He didn't say anything. He just nodded quickly and said, "Okay, cool. I'll just, see you later then." And with that, he rushed off, leaving me staring after him in complete confusion. What just happened? The bell rang, and Jenny, who had been watching the whole thing from across the room, came over and whispered, "Katie, did you just ask him out? You literally told him you were open to a date." "I'm dying right now." I stared at her. "No, I didn't. I just ... I was trying to be nice." Jenny rolled her eyes and said, "Katie, that was so smooth. You might as well have been handing him a rose." "He definitely thinks you like him now." I groaned. "No, he doesn't." "Don't be stupid. The rest of the day was just ... weird. Everywhere I went, I felt like people were staring at me. I mean, sure, it was kind of funny, but I definitely didn't mean for any of this to happen. And Zach, well, I didn't see him again for the rest of the day. But then at lunch, he finally walked over to our table. And guess what? He was holding a dandelion. He awkwardly handed it to me and said, I thought, maybe frogs like flowers too? So, here's a flower for you. I could have melded into the ground right there, but instead, I just looked at him and smiled. Thanks, Zach. You're sweet. And I think frogs would definitely like flowers. And just like that, we both started laughing, and all the awkward tension melted away. Sometimes, you just need to embrace the weirdness, right? We ended up hanging out a little more after that. Zach's still super awkward, and I'm still not entirely sure if he's aware that he accidentally flirted with me. ... But honestly, he's a great guy, and sometimes awkwardness is exactly what makes everything funnier. So, the moral of the story is, if you accidentally flirt with someone, don't panic. Just laugh it off. And if it's meant to be, it'll work out. Even if you're talking about frogs' feelings, don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked it.